from filmfestivalcircuit.com and the director of the Oregon Screams Horror Film Festival, an event that we just had on the 21st of August at the Clinton Street Theater. It was our summer 2022 event. And one of the films that screened at that event, the director is here with us today. The film is called Forrest Halloween, and we're joined by Shane Condino. Hey, Shane.
What's up? Hello.
Well, I want to say congrats.
Well, thank you very much. I'm honored, totally thrilled. It's cool. It's a great win. Thank you very much.
Forrest Halloween is the winner of the Best Experimental Film Award at Oregon Screams Summer 2022, which is just a great honor. People like just how out of the box, your entire presentation was. I'm not going to give away your synopsis, but people were very impressed, not only in the judges, but also the audience.
Well, I find that fascinating and extremely, I'm just grateful that people are into it. It's like all of my feedback was love or hate. So the hate, it's out there, but the people that loved it seemed to really dig what I was putting out into the world. So that's satisfying because it's unique with whatever I'm coming up with, honestly, just, and my influences over life and time.
Well, it resonated, so you're on to something. And in your own words, for those that didn't get a chance to see it at the festival, what is this film about? What's the synopsis?
Let's see. The log line really I throw out always is just somewhere something very special is happening. It's kind of the idea of this thing. It's a journey for sure of something having to go somewhere to get something else to create something new out of the entire process. Some aspects of the world go away while other ones are being born. That's basically the idea of it. And it's set just in this strange fairy tale, adult swimmy nighttime sort of forest-scape that spans different planets and all kinds of stuff. If you haven't seen it, it's definitely sort of a journey, I think.
All right. Well, so what motivated you? You put your time, effort, and energy into this film. Why?
Well, what happened, I guess the original thing I should just say was my wife and I were going upstate to this playtime and go up to the woods, and it was Halloween, and I had been working on this doll, so one of the characters in this thing, out of garlic, like the stalks of garlic, and I just thought, this looks like a little skeleton creature or a witch or something. So I don't know, it was just kind of spontaneous, and I had a feeling that I needed to make some kind of little animation piece. So when we went up there, I shot it, and it was only 18 seconds of footage. And that's clearly not enough for any kind of short film or anything else. And I only had that idea. So I just slowly just kept digesting what I was looking at and the underneath ideas that were coming out. And I built a film around this 18 seconds of footage, honestly. It isn't a plan. I don't necessarily suggest doing that. The storyboarding idea and knowing what you're doing is pretty cool. But in this case, I didn't have any of that. And it just kept building itself until suddenly I realized, something's happening here. This is kind of cool. I dig what's going on. I don't know.
Very cool. So what did you learn, the process of creating this film? What did it teach you?
Well, I guess specifically, you don't need like a huge plan, in truth. You just got to start anything. And if you do that, at least for me, everything else it came in, the blanks were filled. So I guess the real thing was that I was ready to do it. So there was no reason ever to just sit around and not do it. And I'm sure I could have told myself that I wasn't ready to make something for as long as I lived, but I'm glad that I just went forward. And like I said, I didn't know really what I was doing or why I was doing it. I just had couple of feelings and ideas, and I just explored those, and then new ones came afterwards. And then after a big chunk of time, I was really happy with this little project I'd created.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. Very impressive. It's I hope people get a chance to see it. What's the future like for this film? Is it still on the circuit? Is it winding down? What's going on?
It's on the circuit, but I think it'll be retired after this fall, because I'd actually recut a good portion of this film, and just fixed some issues that had. Oh, you know about the learning thing? I wonder if I could say something about
Sure.
it. Just realized you might think something's done and it might not be finished for another year. I find it super. It's important to get rid of what you're making, send it out, but it's okay to go back and repair little bits within reason, because you can also like beat something to death by working on it forever. But yeah, it's okay to send something out there. It's not totally finished, but it is to you. But then later you might make some addendums and like and fix it to a point where you're kind of satisfied. And then after that, I think it's really good to just let it go, which is what I'm going to do after fall this year. Just let it ride, because it's not the film I originally released a year ago, but I'm happy enough with it to let it die after this fall. And that's it. And yeah, that's it.
You know what I see from a lot of people who, especially when they get a chance to see their film live in front of an audience,
Yeah.
that out of body experience of seeing your film as an audience member versus just looking at the footage on your computer all the time. People will go back and be like, I'm editing the film. I'll see that, especially after the first screening. People will edit their movies. So,
Yeah,
hey, that's sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. I just said that makes sense. And I found it very helpful to share with as many. There's a lot. I live in Brooklyn, and there's a plethora of talented people around that are much more talented than I am. And I find it's very important to share your work with people whose opinions you trust, not people that are always going to just say, oh, yeah, that was great, but people that really pick it apart. Because I had a lot of that, and I wasn't ready to hear some of it early on. But over time, I found that a lot of the critiques and criticisms were dead on. I just wasn't ready to hear it. But after taking some of those criticisms to heart and making adjustments, I'm much happier with the product. And it won an award with that version. So I think it's pays to listen to your friends if they know what they're saying.
Oh yeah, really good stuff, man. And your film also screened at the Austin Microfilm Festival. It was an official selection there earlier in 2022. So the judges in Austin like your stuff too. And it's rare. It's not always a given that every festival is going to view it the same way. So it's a testament to you and your hard work that you got 2 festivals to select you.
That's true. Thank you very much for that, Michael. You're intimately connected to that anyway. And I'm very grateful that it's moved through 2 different platforms with you driving the ship. So thanks. It's pretty cool.
All right. Appreciate you too.
Yeah.
So what's going on in the future? Any other projects you're working on? Anything else you got?
Yeah. Second film's underway. Well, technically it would be my 3rd film, but this one, I think we're looking at like 20 minutes to 35, somewhere in that zone. I want to like get a little bigger than the last one. And it's a ghost pirate ship type of a movie. Stop animation also. Title is Les Intrus, which means the trespassers in French. And I'm looking forward to this one. There's a sleepy little town. It's basically, in truth, there's a film called The Fog by John Carpenter. It's taking a lot of those elements, honestly, and just making a same sort of weird fairy tale ghost story short. Something comes in the fog in a little town next to the ocean somewhere. We don't really know where it could be. Major characters are a radio station and a lighthouse operator. So we'll see. And the ship is the actual main character. But
interesting.
Yeah, well, I'm excited about that. It's going to be next level compared to the animation on this one.
So why stop motion animation? Like why? What was your interest in this, and when did you first start? You mentioned the first film. Where was your beginnings?
My beginnings were music. I came up, the arts in general, but music was really a main thing. And then all along the way, as I was playing music, I'd been shooting photographs for years and years and years. And at one point in time, I guess I've loved animation since I was a kid. I came up in the 80s with claymation, Phil Tippett, and all this sort of stuff. And it's always fascinated me because it was before CGI. So that was what we had for, special effects. And I just loved, I know it's not real and it doesn't feel real. And because of that, it's just intriguing. It pulls me right in. So I've always liked that. And the fact you know, after a bunch of years of buying gear like camera equipment and all these other things, and because I was so into sound recording, which is, you know, sound is a big deal to you as well, I realized, oh yeah, I could make a stop animation thing. I could do it. I have what I need. I don't need actors. There's no voices in this. It's just, you know, it's just music and sound effects. And I'm like, this is the stuff I've been working on for the last decade. So why don't I put that together and make a little film? And then, yeah, that's what I did. And then I just fell in love with it. And it's so much work, but it's just satisfying. It's so satisfying when you get it right. If you do get it right. Not saying that I did, but just saying, man, it's nice to see other people like your work when you put so much time into a stop animation piece.
All right, my man. Well, this has been good. I appreciate, you know, your transparency with all this. Tell us about your background and how you came up and just, you know, getting this film done. The fruits of your labor are tasty to a lot of people. People are just really, really into what you did. And I encourage you to go on and give us more great content in the future, whether it be in Austin or in Oregon or even our new festival, Atlanta After Dark, which we just fired up to.
Cool.
We're here for you whenever it's done. So please send us the good stuff.
Definitely. I'm going to shout out to all the great judges and people that watched my film. They even took the time. And I'm really glad it resonated with all of you. Shout out to the film festival circuit, man. I mean, great job with what you built. It's really cool. It's just great to have opportunities like this, man, for people with, you know, zero funding, zero budgets, and just, it's cool. It's nice. So
thank you.
All of you guys are doing what you're doing, and I'm super grateful all of you took the time to watch my film, and I'm just happy you liked it.
Thanks, Shane.
You're welcome.
All right, buddy.
Nice meeting you, Mike.
We'll talk soon.